Rather lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to a brand new video. Now, Arsenal could sign Alex Grimaldo this week. Benfica are in the UK. They will be in the UK until Thursday, and Arsenal are hoping to use that opportunity to get the deal done. Now, it looks like Alex Grimaldo is not in very, very good terms with Benfica. They have actually told him to train alone since this summer started because he refused to sign a new deal with the Portuguese side. Interesting. Absolutely interesting. A deal that you like to do. Arsenal have also been confirmed to have made a bid of around £6 million, which actually is very close to what Benfica was about to say Ajax, to what Benfica are actually asking for. So can we get this deal done within this week and focus on the more pressing issues? Lucas Paqueta, Yuri Tillemans, and an attacker. Let us see what is going to happen in there. Hit the like button for me. Let's get this video to 800 likes. Subscribe to the podcast as well. We are very close to 53,000 subscribers. Now, let's get into it. Let's start off with reports from Graham Bailey and the 90-minute podcast. They have reported and said that Arsenal have actually Arsenal are in talks with Benfica over a deal for Alex Grimaldo after submitting a $6 million bid. He has reportedly been training alone during preseason after turning down a new deal at the Estadio da Luz. That is according to Graham Bailey of the 90-minute podcast. Of course, very, very reliable podcast and very, very reliable journalist there in Graham Bailey. So, look, the first thing we can confirm right now is that talks are ongoing with the representatives of Benfica. We are talking to Benfica as we speak to make sure that deal gets done. And Benfica do not have the best of I don't know. They don't have the best of relations at the moment with Alex Grimaldo, because telling a player to train alone because they've turned down a deal, it's absolutely ridiculous. But anyway, we're going to talk about that and how it might actually play in the hands of Arsenal Football Club. Now, the other story is from HITC, I think Sevens, because I always watch their podcast on YouTube as well. And they have reported and said Arsenal and Benfica will agree a deal this week for the player. The valuation between Arsenal and Benfica is not very, very far away, by the way, because our £6 million deal, yes, it was pushed away. But when you look at what they're asking for around £8 million. So the difference in between there is £2 million. I think Arsenal will ask for a compromise. Obviously, Arsenal, when it comes to players left with 1 year on their contracts, we always push for a compromise. And I think Benfica will also try to ask for a compromise. They have set the deal to at around 10 million euros, which is around £8 million. So I think a compromise from both ends could make the deal so much easier. And this week. And now the reason as to why they believe the deal could be done this week and why I want it to be done as quickly, as early as possible is Benfica have been training in in Newcastle, right? They've been training in Newcastle in the UK for some time, and they will be there until Thursday. Now, today I understand is Tuesday, if I'm really not mistaken. Yeah, today is the 12th of July, Tuesday. So they will be here for the next 48 hours. Arsenal are trying to make sure that before the representatives, before the officials of Benfica leave the UK, a deal has been agreed and everything has already put in place. Now, when they interviewed the executive, I think it's the CEO of Benfica, Manuel De Roy, he said he doesn't have information about any bids from Arsenal at the moment. But now we're having two reliable podcasts confirming the information from Ebola that was in the last reported in the last 24 hours that Arsenal made an initial offer for the player. That is 100% confirmed. We made an initial offer for the player and that was turned down. So let's look at this, lads. yes, it's a deal that Arsenal are really interested in, and it's a deal that we are not going to be very, very, quick and desperate to do. Arsenal also have other targets in that area, including Tino Livramento, including Alexander Zinchenko as well. But when you look at the Alex Grimaldo deal and why it should be done as quickly as possible, this is a player, first and foremost, that has averaged 50, not actually averaged, but achieved or recorded 50 assists for Benfica in the last 6 years. That is a left back. So, of course, the training he got from Barcelona and the La Masia Academy explains the fluidity and his attacking prowess. It explains that. So he's a player that you think will not go unnoticed in this summer. I'm not really sure how many clubs are interested in signing a left back, and I'm not informed of the competition Arsenal are facing at the moment to sign the player. But what I can say is that this one you need to get done early. Honestly, this one you need to complete early, as quick as possible. Now, should Arsenal pay the 10 million euros for the player? He's 26 years of age, first and foremost, so he is in his prime. And if you bring him in at Arsenal for 10 million euros, exactly the same amount of money that we paid for Nuno Tavares, I think there is more value for money than Nuno Tavares. And also, in the next 3 years, if Alex Grimaldo feels he wants to move on from Arsenal and find another club, and find another club, in my opinion, you can get back your money. If he's done well and he's thrived at the club, you can even sell him for an extra 5 million, an extra 10 million, probably 10 million euros to a club interested. If it doesn't work out, I think a player in his prime, you could sell him at 28 and you will still pull back your 10 million euros. So for me, there is nothing for Arsenal to be scared about investing that much. Now, I understand with transfers, it's not like a career mode where you want a player, there is no bargaining. You want a player, you place the money on the table, and everyone's everything moves your way. It's not career mode. It is transfers. It is real business. It is real value. We are talking about players. We're talking about time, and we're talking about huge contracts. So I think Benfica will suffer a compromise. They will agree to a compromise for around, I think they'll come down from 10 million euros to around 8 or 9 million euros. And then Arsenal also have to increase their offer from 6 million pounds to around 7.5 million pounds, rising to 8 million pounds in add-ons. I think a deal can be agreed. I honestly think a deal can be agreed this early, just like this week, like it's been reported this week. Because listen, Arsenal coming into this deal are doing both parties a very, very huge advantage. One, Benfica know they will lose the player on a free, and there are not so many clubs that are going to be willing to give you 10 million euros or 6 million pounds in Alex Grimaldo's contract. No one is going to buy that contract for 6 million pounds. They know you're already having bad blood with the player. You've pushed him away. It could be as worse as what happened to Arsenal and Pierre Aubameyang. You could lose the player on a free, like what happened between us and Pierre Aubameyang. Contracts jumbled up, and the player goes to Barca. Arsenal received nothing, right? It could be as bad as that. So Benfica is still very, very lucky that they're still able to negotiate with a couple of clubs, with a very huge club actually, like Arsenal, for a player whose contract is for a player who's become a rebel, right? For a player who's become a rebel. And I think it's utterly disgusting that you treat a player like that because they don't want to commit to your their future to you. 26 years of age, if you've let the likes of Darwin Núñez go, then there is no reason as why Alex Grimaldo cannot leave as well. He's told you with the best of intentions he wants to move on and he wants to make that huge jump in his career. You've got to let him go, right? You've got to let him go. So Arsenal coming in here, we are doing an advantage to two parties. We are giving Benfica a chance to get some little money out of the sale of Alex Grimaldo. But then also, we are giving Alex Grimaldo an option. They are treating you like a rebel, just like what Barcelona did with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. They are treating you like a rebel. Come home. We're going to give you a home. And I think Alex Grimaldo will be very, very open to joining Arsenal, knowing very well that he's going to be playing in the position where there is a player who cannot commit 100%. But also, in terms of fitting into Mikel Arteta's plans and systems, in terms of playing with an elbow system, I think Alex Grimaldo is better fit than Kieran Tierney. This is my reason. Look, when you play when you're playing in an elbow system, it means one of your fullbacks has the liberty to go and exploit whatever kind of opportunities and create opportunities as well in the final third, while your other fullback remains deep and conservative. Now, when it comes to Kieran Tierney, he's been doing that very, very much, but not as well and not as good as Alex Grimaldo. So many people think Mikel Arteta will be missing out on Lisandro Martinez signing Alex Grimaldo, but in my opinion, he's gonna be picking up some pieces of gold without noticing it. He's going to get a Joao Cancelo himself. He's going to get a player that is going to be adding so much to that, creative force, and also a player that is 100% versed with the ideas of positional play. Pick them up during his time at FC Barcelona. So it's a deal. It's a profit situation for me, for three parties. Arsenal get the man, a man to back up Kieran Tierney at £6 million, which is or £7 million, which is quite reasonable compared to what we were going to pay for Lisandro Martinez, right? Of course, Lisandro Martinez comes with a couple of other advantages, like we've talked about him. But then the other player, the other advantage or the other party that comes to an advantage is Alex Grimaldo getting away from the prison that has been set in, and Benfica also not losing the player on a free. Now, agreeing the deal this week, I think, look, this is a small money deal. Although I want to believe it's a complicated one. There is no complexity in this one. There is nothing complicated. Grimaldo wants to leave. Benfica know they have to sell, and Arsenal interested. Just agree on a price. The good thing is that the representatives of Benfica are already in the UK, so it is physical. It is physical contact. No one needs to fly. No one needs to fly to find an agreement. Just agree on the deal. So the next 48 hours are going to be very, very key, because Benfica will leave UK in I think they will leave UK on Thursday. That is in the next 48 hours. So Arsenal need to thrash out a deal in the next 48 hours. I believe we can. It's not a lot of money. Honestly, it's not a lot of money. And it's a player that I'm really gassed to see and do videos about how Arsenal will line up with Grimaldo. What exactly is Grimaldo all about, and how he improves Arsenal? All those videos, I'm really, really happy to do them. But of course, that is if Arsenal can agree a deal with FC Benfica. I know many of you don't know much about him, so don't tell me you don't like him. Tell me you know nothing much about him. I will understand that. But if you tell me you don't like him, I will ask you whether you know about him, and you tell me you do not know. And that would be a lie. Speak to you very soon, though.